Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome to another Space Out Tuesday, where we talk about the Outer Worlds, neo-colonial RPGs, and continue the adventure of our, I don't know, radical queer space colonist named Robinson, because I'm an 18th century piece of trash. How are we doing tonight? It is the second week of classes back at TAMU CC. People are finalizing their schedules, maybe still shopping around, and also maybe in quarantine, because cases feel up. So if you are hanging out, from quarantine, joining us, being social, welcome. We're here to chat and think about video games, narrative, aesthetics, the politics of all of this. In our last episode, we built a space colonist with the background of a sous chef. Their name is Robinson. Her name is Robinson. I think in terms of building the actual body of our avatar, and we could theorize sort of how effective really sort of radical character creation is when the game is really the game is sort of right, like you have to pilot it through first person. Let's get outer space post-colonial. I love it. I just started season 6 of The Expanse. This is, again, where all of my life is. So, yeah, at the end of our last session, we leveled up. We're gonna put some more skill and perk points into Robinson. And keep building our, I think, radical sous chef. It's truly wild, the types of sort of backgrounds you get here, and I'm all for it. Okay. We're building somebody very, very brainy. I think we'll go back into the tech, and really pump that up so that we can tinker with some things, have some science weapons. I think we need some ranged, just because it is a space shooter. And then I kind of want to go into a little bit more one-handed, just because I think it's deeply funny that we built a sous chef who gets knife proficiencies. That's got the little green skill box. So I think a little bit there helps us out. Nope. Apply. Yes. Anyone played Outer Worlds before? A lot of good games came out right at the end of 2019, and then, I don't know, the world ended, so late 2019, kind of a good time for gaming. I think let's go into, I think some health, armor. We're going to toughen her up. And then this is actually what I'm fascinated by. That some of these status effects and flaws, which we could acquire if your body part is injured in the same place multiple times. So, for instance, if you're taking heavy concussive damage, if you were taking like blunt force trauma, one of the things that the game sort of recognizes is like, wow, you get hit in the head a lot. Would you like to create a sort of what's lost, what's gained moment by keeping them kind of concussed with permanent brain damage, so that the type of damage sustained to your character develops into sort of RPG mechanics, which is pretty fun. It will be no surprise to folks here that I think about bodies a lot. Space knife. So I think our first sort of mission is to find a power regulator in order to repair our ship. Yeah, what is up, Dr. Salter? We are also impersonating a Captain Hawthorne and now piloting the ship, the Unreliable.
The navigation console is offline at this time, Captain.
So yeah, I think, and this is one of the. We were thinking a little bit last week about agency and sort of building characters and the type of open world sort of exploration that these type of RPGs promise. So your background and stuff will not change, but our general sort of things that we're good at, we can bulk up. So, we can keep investing things into one-handed weaponry, aka kitchen knives. We can continue. No, I think this is not absolutely anything about ignorance. I think it's one of the interesting things that I want to think about for open world narratives. And I think it's, and I think it's pointedly so when we think about these types of space colony narratives, that it's the promise of new worlds that you can come in and sort of conquer, and we can think about sort of what's lost and what's gained in manifesting that destiny, but it seems to at least offer the promise of infinite customization, infinite exploration, and open world access. So you're kind of locked in with your background, but your skills, your perks, what type of reputation we accrue is all sort of built into the game and as we level up. I think we have to deal with the consequences of our last game's actions.
Sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, man, you owe Spacers choice.
And I don't like it when my actions have consequences. Okay, so we are back with Lieutenant Mercer, who's essentially a corporate cop. And they are asking if the ship is yours. And they do automatically just go ahead and gender us. That's fine. You owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay. So we don't have a job, right? We are impersonating. Really, after I patched up your friend, which turns out was illegal against company policy, we can just lie to them. Or I think we could elevate and escalate the situation. How are we feeling as Robinson? How should we respond? I'm kind of here for lying. Try and trick her with pity. Kind of play a little dumb. What do we think? Okay, yep, absolutely, let's lie. Yeah, we're a ship inspector. And lying gets us EXP, so I think that's great.
Manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
All right. Well, thanks, Lieutenant Mercer. We're going to head to the first sort of outpost settlement, corporate outpost. We can see it sort of in the distance. The beautiful advertisement for Edgewater. What do we... how do we feel about this sort of orientation device, right? That we are brought into this planet as sort of crash landing, maybe pseudo-hero, and the first folks that we are encountering are corporate... corporate, yep, lackeys. People folded into this sort of system. Man, also, if we're continuing our conversation about violence last week, the time dilation, the sort of, if you've ever played Fallout, it's essentially this version of, like, VATS, just really makes hand-to-hand combat brutal. absolutely gorgeous backgrounds. I just love the idea of, first of all, you have to walk through a cemetery to get to the corporate outpost. Yeah. Dr. Salter, tell me more.
Oh, hey, where'd you come from?
That's okay, fair. But I see where you're pointing to. I see what you're gesturing to. I'm interested. Like, this is such a fascinating orientation for me for necropolitics and biopolitics, right? That you are first oriented to Edgewater by first seeing all of the graves for the dead colonists, as you are greeted by this cartoonish corporate mascot, just kind of holding his hands up in the air. Thoughts about this ironic orientation to Edgewater? I'm gonna go loot things. It is an employment community. I mean, yes, right? It has a long... This type of corporate setting has a long history for sort of speculative fiction and reimagining conversations about, like, the price and worth of lives and sort of human capital, right? For sure, Parable of the Sower is a great touchstone. I mean, and what does the phrase employment community invoke? I mean, you can't call it a shanty town anymore, right? Or like these types of workers' housings, but it's trying to like cover up or make palatable the type of violence that's around. Absolutely, this idea that at best it's about to be folded into indentured servitude. All right, so we're gonna go speak with the, I think, town leader. Oh man, Saltuna Cannery. I think this opening mission is going to give us some options for how we want to play into this capitalist, like, space nightmare.
So, you asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to...
Seems we've got a guest.
Did not mean to interrupt. Very sorry. About that, wanted to hear about exploding cans.
No forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
Talk to me a little bit about this, like, costume decision. That this is very much set in the future, but this clothing, this derby hat, this bowler hat is an option. It's a choice. How is Obsidian sort of coding the boss, Reed Thompson?
You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and all, but she's just
I mean, and we should definitely theorize Miller at a later date. I don't love the sort of low-key propaganda that early Miller gets sort of folded into, but it hits this sort of, right, vintage earther, like, film noir thing that has a very, like, retro vintage nostalgia attached to it. But it's supposed to give you this sort of, right, like, film noir feeling. Thoughts on that sort of, right, ironic mix of, like, the old and the new, right? Let's throw in some 1920s noir into space colonies.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but...
And I'm so sorry, he's not the boss. He's the Outpost Administrator. How are we engaging with this man? I'm sort of immediately on the defensive. That, again, when I see... I mean, it's giving me, like, Tammany Hall, New York, Gilded Age, sort of, right, corruption.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck.
Just gonna say I don't work for them.
My excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
The actual book series is next on my list. Yeah, are we up front? My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator, or I don't plan on staying long. I mean, I don't plan on staying long, and I do need a power regulator. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be a little dodgy.
I understand. Your business is your own. Nonetheless, you are welcome in our little outpost. Outsiders are a rare sight in the Vale. If you are a freelancer, then I have use for you. There is pay to be earned, or...
Oh, this is great. We are now folded into gig economy. Are we a freelancer? Is this how we're going to... I'm gonna ask what they need, and then refuse later.
The sort of work for which I cannot spare my own people. I am in the midst of a difficulty, the resolution of which requires a third party. You. There's an old botanical lab, mostly abandoned now, but still eating up power from our plant. Power which our cannery sorely needs. I need you to go to the geothermal plant and reroute power from the botanical lab over to us. Simple as that.
I mean, it's super layered in corporate rhetoric. I'm not the boss. I am a outpost organizer. And this idea of freelancing third party, one, absolutely makes me feel like a union scab. And I think also the tweed and bowler hat is making me feel like union scab. But, like, it doesn't make me want to help him. How do y'all feel? About rerouting power from a mostly abandoned geothermal plant.
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are
So now we are talking about questions of legal habitation. I mean, I would like to know. I think, well, currently, the thing that feeds this outpost and is manufactured here by Spacer Choice is this cannery, Saltuna. But there are apparently folks who are not legally inhabiting this lab. So we can really go down the line. I mean, hard pass, right? I don't think these people will take kindly to losing their power.
No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people live
like a parent disciplining an unruly child. That is what corporate management or corporate sort of middle management does. That's fascinating, the violence of the nuclear family getting used to really paint this Thompson guy as an ideological nightmare. So these people are deserters. They are former workers, and they are needed back at their posts. I need them to come home. Woof. Sentimental rhetoric is always a trap, forever and ever. Man, and there are some violent options here. Tell me what I need to do, why, or if you want me to solve your deserter problem, I charge by the head. I feel like Chad is not going to agree with that last option. And I think just if we get assigned this mission, we absolutely do not have to complete it. This is also great things about open world RPGs is like, cool, thanks. I will let my side quest list get 18 years long. Not a problem.
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
I mean, is this supposed to be the moral dilemma? Because I'm not torn, right? Either help corporate make their bottom line, or disempower, literally, folks who have left the company and are camping out with some plants. Thoughts? Feelings? I mean, I've seen Edgewater. I don't blame those workers for walking out. None of what you're telling me is my problem. Are we just opting out? Are we sort of right full-on barterly? I mean, how do we... I think the option is we absolutely go to the plant and see what's up there and then see how we can help them. So, okay. We're just gonna...
Neither do I. The fault was entirely mine. I pushed them too hard. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab.
Okay, we're going to stop by the lab. We're going to see what's up.
Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
I can't make any promises. This is just where I'm going to live. But absolutely, let's see what's up. I mean, Team Adelaide.
Let me give you the
I agree.
passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you wanted a guide.
Y'all, I think we also made a friend.
I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr.
Come on,
Henderson.
Parvati.
Sorry.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you.
I mean, I want a friend.
Great. I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you. And
Hashtag women in STEM. We love to see it.
For the stranger, I know.
Okay. Well, thanks for being kind of a capitalist creep, Reed Thompson. Let's go. Okay. We get some new companions. Provide combat support. Their skills enhance your skills. They increase your carrying capacity. Okay, cool. Don't love that mechanic that we just brought on Pavarti only to just, load her up. But special companion combat abilities. Let's explore. And I think make our way to Adelaide's camp and... Nope. Oh, man. Okay, we're gonna come back here, possibly murder Reed Thompson, get this key, and steal the loot. We're just gonna put that on the docket. Remind me later to commit violent acts against corporate middle management of a town? We'll circle back. I'm not mad at this character design. Tech overalls, goggles. Feels very practical, rather than other ways that historically women are rendered in video games.
Can we talk?
Man, this is really just a giant cannery factory. Let's go see what's up in the lab. Here we are, the Saltuna Cannery, the only source of protein a busy worker needs. What I really love about these ironic intercut ads, right, is that it really amplifies the commercialism, the ironic branding, and this idea that like food doesn't need to taste good, it just needs to give workers more protein so that they can keep working. Really just stripping down the utility of food. I mean, our sous chef is maybe going to undermine a Saltuna Cannery. Dr. Salter, how is your core literature class going? The Pie Hole, Food and Lit. Since we're talking about committing corporate espionage and maybe subverting a cannery. Oh, why is she moving up there? No, Papardi! Sorry, I went absolutely silent because I was like, oh, I'm gonna die here. This is bad. And then whipped out the knife.
We did it!
How many of those do I have left? 4? Okay. Oh man, and they have drugs. And new armor, that's great. Love it. All of this is mine now. Because that's how it works on the frontier? The space frontier? Oh, water for chocolate. That's a great way into these larger conversations. And then looking at some cookbooks, that's fun. All right. Marauder Hooligan. Oh, that was not the button I wanted to hit. So this episode is actually just going to be a lot of gratuitous violence. Her screams in the background are making me feel very guilty for bringing her along.
The last of them.
That's fantastic. Making a pit stop with corporate appeals and personal investments in food. What are they protecting, and can I get more things for health? Nope. Yes. We're gonna absolutely... lockpicks. Great. Fantastic. I mean, this is really the reason why folks play... Okay. No need to brand me as a criminal. This feels very personal. Trespassing, lockpicking, hacking, and murder, okay, are all considered illegal activities and are frowned upon by society. Avoid being seen if you want to engage in these activities without consequence. All right, well, I think I'm fine doing that in an abandoned house with marauders outside. I'm not upset by looting. Okay. Sorry, looting done. Back to saving Adelaide. Or working together with Adelaide. Nope, looting not done. Oh, no, this is where I absolutely beef it. Okay, are we done with the murder? We are not quite done with the murder.
Everyone all right?
Oh, Pavarti's got a hammer. That's great. Love her. What is... Okay. Oh no, not the never-ending story. Oh, I do like that payoff. We'll say very different than the content here. This is kind of empathyless Murderland. I also like that there are... I mean, it does feel very space pirate, right? This is not space justice at this point in time. This does feel entirely like space piracy. Which, big fan. Robinson Crusoe, definitely low-key a pirate.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
I want meat. Okay, Botanical Lab. Let's find Adelaide. Grace Romero, your name is amazing. Big fan. Cowboy hat. Sniper rifle, no critiques.
Yeah. Go ahead and ignore the lady with the gun.
Okay. Oh man, not even a name. You're just deserter. Cool. All right. Well, I guess let's meet Adelaide McDivitt.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. What
Okay.
are your troubles with Edgewater?
Immediately, like immediate hospitality. This is fun for me.
Any questions, dear?
Right. She called me dear. I like her already. You must be Adelaide.
I've been called that, among other things. Green thumb, grandmother.
And she's a grandma. And she's a grandma.
Flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas,
What do we make? I don't know. This is my skeptical side coming out. What do we make of the immediate folding in of sort of, right, maternity, grand maternity into images of nature, trees, cultivating? It's very pioneer grandma, right? She got meat on the spit and trees in this greenhouse. I mean, how are we responding? I think for a lot of these, they might probably lead to the same sort of pathway, but I think she's made a home for herself out here. This is great. I kind of don't want to talk about Reed right now.
a home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those
Okay, yeah, it's not that thing again, right? And then I was also sort of, I have in the back of my brain just this sort of, right, like the nightmare ghostings of Mary Daly's Gynecology, where sort of, right, cultivating natural, maternal women and have that locked into sort of, right, biological connections. So, like, it's, I don't know. We can't have nice things. But it's all very, west, right? Spores of the puffballs cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil. We put down new roots. This feels like tumbleweedy vibes.
It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject.
Thanks, Space Grandma. And again, I think there is this sort of sentimental rhetoric, right? It absolutely tells us nothing, right? That could have been a spaceship left. So, do we bring up Reed? I think we have to bring up Reed.
Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
Okay, how do we break this news? You're living off a power that belongs to the town. Come back to the cannery. That's about it. Gross. Reed asked you to consider coming back to town. He's willing to make amends. He did not say that. That would be lying to Space Grandma. And then something about coming back to town or losing power. I wasn't really listening. I mean, Reed's idea of peace is this, like, nightmare thing that's not peace, right? You're living off a power that belongs to the town. Come back to the cannery.
Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned.
A plus for whoever's writing this. That peace offering is canned. Yeah, I think I'm just willing to spill all of the beans with Space Grandma. That Reed asked me to divert power over to him. He mentioned a geothermal plant.
He would do such a thing. Question is, why would you agree to his plans?
Okay, I'm not Adelaide. Oh, no. Okay, this is rude and it makes me feel very bad that I don't have the option to tell Space Grandma that I don't want to be a corporate lackey and cut off her power. Oh my god, I'm the bank.
If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to
Okay.
an odious cannery.
Now, I do like that.
The sort of thing a hero would do.
But there are people working and living in that town too. Oh my... You can also just say, like, that's bananagrams. I don't know. Now I feel torn a little bit more about this moral choice. That, like, I was kind of fine with community living off of this grid, but now I'm kind of scared to, like, divert more power away from a town. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I do kind of, besides, like, the obvious, I do want to ask what she's got against the town.
You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring.
Okay,
their
and
lives away at the
this is
cannery,
convincing for me.
living off whatever scrap Spacer's choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
I also forgot we had a companion with us.
Sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she
Okay,
was something.
Radical Space Grandma kind of has points. I mean, I don't like throwing that in Parvati's face. We're absolutely not going to do this. Like, what do you have against people trying to make a living? Because that is borderline nobody wants to work anymore talk, and we're not reproducing that here. I guess I do want to know what happens to Edgewater if I help.
Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives.
Yeah, I mean, chat how we feel. I think I'll consider it. That's where my Marxist heart wants to go. it's a pretty impressive choice tree, right, and conversation dialogue tree, and you can sort of, right, toggle through the history of that chat. So one of the things that I think this game is really clever about in its writing and in its RPG immersion is sort of picking up almost that tabletop feel, right? That we go from first-person open-world Skyrim-y type, like, shooter to these sort of, right, very close first-person dialogue screens where I can't, like, move around outside of it, and then have just these, like, sprawling... Oh, heavy rain also makes sense here, for sure. So, yeah, I think we'll consider it.
I trust you will listen.
But that it wants you to feel immersed and sort of, right, pretty... Oh, hey, level up for listening to Space Grandma. I like that. Okay, I do think we're going to put some into melee. Handgun to get that up to 30. Oh, should we be able to talk and lie better? I do like us being able to pick locks. I think we should keep going into tech. Leadership skill feels right now that we have our companion, right? No, it is the I absolutely will not. Man, what I love about the Expanse is first of all, Holden absolutely has to be a sort of Holden Caulfield reckless idealism sort of, right, reference thing, because it is also, right, very Don Quixote with the Rocinante, that it is about ways that white men put themselves at the center of the universe, and then the ways that people like Christian Avasarala has to be like, okay, don't make the situation worse, Holden. Let's put some leadership, just because we're hanging out with folk. And more into knife skills. Thank you so much. It's one of the best lines of season 4. Next, yeah, that season really lets Christian shine. Oh, item repair. Cool. We should absolutely repair items in the future. All right, and we are investigating, I think, the power plant. Maybe going to choose where to direct the power. To the botanical lab, depriving Edgewater of power. It's real, but I don't like the verb depriving there. Oh. Let's take a look at what Parvati's got. Okay, you've got a gun and a hammer. Big fan, loving that energy for you. With knockdown. And it shocks. You know what? You're doing the best. You're doing the most. Parvati, you're a valuable member of our team. Oh, we can get a helmet. Like that. And then tech skills +5, tech skills +5, armor 9, armor 3. And we can mod that out. Okay. Let's get a little bit more armor so that we don't die horribly. Oh, for sure. I like a good space aesthetic. Give me that post-apocalyptic robot cyberpunk feel. And this is obviously not our best equipment, as we are just starting off. Oh. Okay. Better knife. Let's go redirect some power. Let's go liberate... Oh, can I steal that? I don't want to steal from... I'm sorry. I don't want to steal from Adelaide. I am a little loot happy here. Okay. Space chicken. My immediate sort of Ocarina of Time training has led me to maybe not hit that.
Something you need?
Oh, I guess we should just ask her about the...
Like one that flies about the Aether? That's a tall order. I guess the generator that powers Bess. I mean, the cannery. If you turn on the thermal plant like Mr. Thompson wants,
So it's all coming together.
shut down the generator, then it'd be safe to yank the regulator.
We divert power, take the regulator, and leave. And just absolutely loot Spacer's Choice Corporation outpost. I'm not mad at that. Okay, I'm also just scared to walk back through here because of all the marauders. But I think we took care of that problem. I don't know if enemies respawn. It's been a minute since I've played. I mean, it's not great, especially if, I mean, they clearly have food hanging out there, but I am concerned about food distribution, pollution, sustainability, livelihood. I'm also concerned a little bit about workers' rights. Like, there has to be, I mean, the answer is unionization, but, like, what's between burning down the entire factory or working yourself to a heart attack? Union. But it's not giving me the option. What are you? Robot arm. Cool, I'll take you.
I've always wanted to poke around in here.
Okay. Oh, robots. How do I get in here?
Here they come!
What? Okay, those robots are angry. Oh. Well, this is not great. Oh, and I am out of respirators. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna let her take care of that. You're good, fam. Oh, God. Well, that's fine. Have to die sometime. Oh, word. Yep. Using your environment. That would be smart. Will say, not great at first-person shooters. Unless it's Borderlands, because you can just, like, put that on auto and everything. Like, the point of Borderlands is just to make pretty colors. Okay, back to the plant. Let's kill some robots. Which, I don't know, feels less violent than killing the marauders. That not being able to target specific parts of an anatomy. Oh, actually, also let me go ahead and raid to see if I can't get some more stuffs. What are you doing? What is this? I want some more health packs. What do we got? Nope. Ooh. Well, turns out eating tarmac and cheese, it's not real tarmac or real cheese, but the carbohydrates give you 200% natural health regen in the last 2 minutes. I do like pounding some carbs before blowing up some robots. Cool. Great. Well, this is what I want. None of this sounds appetizing either. Wow, Dr. Seltzer, this really is going to turn into a food stream. All right. Quick carb snack. Oh, it's... I see that. And Bioshock makes a lot of sense. I also love all the cooking in Breath of the Wild, right? That just like pause the screen, load up on potions, and sort of write like raw and like cooked fish, gourmet empowered meals, etc. This is just showing you how we're gonna do a quick save, actually, real quick. This is what we need. This is what I need. Okay. I mean, it does feel, because Obsidian and people who work in Obsidian, right, have so many I don't know, experiences in other sort of franchises, Bioshock, or Fallout, all of this. It feels pretty pastiche-y here. Here, Ribbit. Nope. Here, Ribbit. Oh, the cute little cooking music is kind of adorable for me. Oh, okay, word, great. I don't love how low our companion's health is at. That would be adorable. Okay. Great, more health. Looting bodies killed by robots. Are we hacking a robot? Where's Pavarti? Pavarti, hack this robot. Are we not? Okay. We need things. Bypass shunt. We need 2 more bypass shunts. Okay. Best and worst thing about open world RPGs, the constant, like, inventory management system. You got bypass shunts? What are robots good for? Energy cells. Oh, vending machine. What? Where? Vending machine. Taste the freedom with Spacer's Choice. This is a food stream now. With added artificial ingredients at no extra cost. That's just lovely. How is food... How is food marketed here? Oh man, and we can hack this later. I do like the idea of stealing from corporate vending machines. BK do crimes is maybe the theme of this game. Okay, we can just buy some of this. That's fine. I would like to buy 2, please. I would also like some tartar sauce, because why not? It is not tartar sauce, it is tartarus sauce. Oh, actually, nope, we're poor. Ooh, I can sell things. I mean, yeah, why 80s and 90s? I go back earlier than that, but there's something I think maybe about the color palette. What rates as 80s, 90s for you? Simply times. Oh, we have a lot of these. I think I can sell them here? I cannot sell them here because you're a vending machine. Oh, it's got a little jingle. That's fantastic for me. Okay. I'm absolutely sacrificing narrative for complete exploration, and that is not amazing stream content, but we're just gonna give it once around, loot some bodies, get some ammo. Yeah, that feels real. Man, cursed. I think the bright marketing, the stylization of the marketing for food gives it that flavor. I would also say, I don't know, I want to see a nightmare supermarket sweep with Outer World food, just because I think it would be very colorful to look at. Oh, that's great. From the planet to your living room. Oh man. Oh, but you know how cursed it is, right, Brittany? That like there are reports between that one and some of those like Legends of the Hidden Temple. The sets were not cleaned between filmings, so it is just like rotting produce marketed as like the most exciting game show competition. It is so it is so. Okay, what are we doing in here? We're finding a power plant or a power module and blowing up robots. I mean, what? Oh, hey, robot. Okay, come on, Pavardi, what are you doing? You've got a hammer that literally shocks things. Okay, robot down. I mean, yeah, and it's got Leslie Jones, which is always a treat. Oh, armor mod, great. All right, as soon as we finish this mission, we are going to get modded out and everything is going to be great and I won't be afraid of robots anymore. Slash, I'm always afraid of robots. Like, I think I would do well in many different versions of the apocalypse. The one version that I absolutely cannot deal with, Terminator Future. Robot Apocalypse, I got nothing. I will be absolutely useless. Okay. All right, time for some ethics. Oh, ideal I don't... You know what? I'm thriving in this one. Thank you. I don't know. I think Day After Tomorrow World, very nice. I do miss the snow. Yeah, I grew up on zombie films. I am not opposed to that. Oh, Animatrix. I do like that a lot. Okay, so let's redirect power. Let's actually look at the plan status. What's happening here? And this is very Fallout terminal access. Okay, power plant operating at 22% efficiency. Power is currently being distributed to the Saltuna Cannery Gross Botanical Laboratory. Oh yeah, and there's some damage around. That feels real. So let's redirect some power. I think I know the answer, but where's it gonna go? Oh, well, power redirection has failed. Manual override required. Please activate all 3 electrical track switches. Cool. Cool. Fighting more robots. What can I can't mod anything here. It needs to be at a workbench. I am gonna add mac and cheese to our consumables just so that I can just mainline mac and cheese. That's fine. Carbs are important.
That'll be easy enough.
Yeah. Dodge away. I don't know those books. Oh, no. 28 Days Later Zombie is game over for sure. Okay. Unlock door. Enter passcode. Passcode, Spacer Thompson. Can we look at his files? How much rooting around can we do here? What do we got? Man, this game just does deep lore. There's just there's so much text to explore. Okay. Company's been replacing our guards with auto mechanicals. This is Robot Apocalypse. If you replace all your robots' security, if you replace all your security with robots, you get an absolutely decimated power plant. Okay. Did this unlock too? This did not. Oh. All right, I'll be on the lookout for a key card. I'll break that lock. Committing space crimes. Why would I need a spade? I mean, you're speaking my language entirely right now. It's going on the list.
System alert.
Okay, slowing down time lets me shoot at their power core. This would be easier if I had something that dealt like laser weapons. Yeah, this is doing bleed damage and weapons, and robots don't bleed. Or maybe robots do bleed. Alright, switch number 1.
Just 2 more. What'll happen to Miss McDevitt's folk if we send power to the Vale?
Okay, Pavardi, don't ask me questions like that. I'm already thinking about, like,
Not the
workers' rights. What's going on down here?
Go away, Phantom!
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded.
Okay, you know what? Stabbing robots? Not mad at this. Okay, I don't know where Pavarti went.
Everyone all right?
Alright, second one down.
If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to the veil?
I don't...
Where are we headed?
Do you have feelings about this, Parvati? Okay, we'll talk later. This is fine. But what happens to the veil is I think it gets better. I think less Spacer's choice, more workers' rights. We're helping Space Grandma. Okay. Oh, Peter. Man, our sous chef, really good with a knife. Absolutely can't believe we haven't just been using this the entire time. Big fan. What else can I stab? Oh, robot. I mean, you can't really get a headshot on a robot, but that's... I don't know. Aha.
The last. I'm not sure what the right is. Alls I know is the decision's final.
I mean, the right one is not the company line. I think we can agree with this. Oh, is there a different? No.
You're not real. You're not real.
Okay, I do want to know what that's about. That's a later problem. Space Grandma needs power.
You're not real. You're not real.
Oh, Nope. Yes. No, I'm just entirely going in circles. Great, 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 great. All right. So I think we divert some power.
Once we do this, there's no going back.
Rumble
Excuse
a
me, ma'am.
corporation's hold
Look, I
on
know
the
you want a
outpost
power
and
regulator, but I
call it
just
a
gotta
Tuesday
ask.
night.
Do you understand what you're about to do?
Okay, Parvati, I don't need this in my life. But I guess since she has feelings, let's ask her about her feelings.
I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all
All right, what do we do?
Edgewater's hurting.
Our new
We've
friend
been losing workers
doesn't.
year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hardworking folk just living their lives the only way they
I mean,
know.
is it punishment? Is it something
They
else?
don't deserve to be punished.
feelings? My pleasure. We're hanging out every Tuesday and Thursday night. So I don't know, like and subscribe. Yeah, we'll be also having rotating co-hosts. So this is just a thing that we are doing during the ongoing pandemic to build some social lives. I mean, I think I'm ready to make a decision. The deserters are a community. This is...
McDevitt's built something beautiful.
I'm not betraying my space grandma.
Somehow she's talked the ground into giving life again. It's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the sick.
Okay, yeah, this is Mother Teresa. I'm not hurting space Mother Teresa.
Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that kind of hatred?
Okay, so much for the tolerant left. I don't know. I don't want to be tricked, again, because all emotions are traps. Like, this is, I think, a takeaway of our stream today. But, yeah, I mean, I see her point,
Sorry,
but...
I didn't mean to babble on like that.
I'm ready to make a
I
decision.
felt like I had to say something.
And I think we are giving power... Oh, I guess we can compliment her. Yeah, I like her. She's a friend.
Really? I mean, wow. Thanks.
Am I making up that she's voiced by
No one
Ashley Birch?
told me those words in that order.
I'll Google that later. Okay. Let's redirect power. And I think we're going to redirect power to the botanical laboratory. Oh, because we also have to raid the cannery for their energy converter thing and steal from space corporations. And we will do that next time on Space Out Tuesday. Thanks so much for hanging out. Everybody, be safe, be well, get tested if you can, and have a good second week of classes. I will see you all later.